I can't even keep up with all these clones. Literally. I've had so many clone fragrances come in the past 3 weeks or so that some of these probably deserve their own video. They actually really do, but I just don't have the time to do enough videos, and I want to get the content out while they're still new so that you know about them, so that you can check them out if you want to. Some of them are probably in danger of selling out. Some of them have already sold out and come back in. So what I'm going to do is I'm taking the majority of the new pickups that I have, and I am putting them in a couple videos that I'll have coming out within a few days of each other, just to kind of get the content out there. I am really excited about some of these. Some of these are just excellent. There's a couple of them I'll just say, you know, it's okay. And I am including in both of these videos a couple that are new-ish, but I haven't really talked about them or haven't talked about them much. And so I'm putting a few in both of the videos that are not as new as the majority of these, but I think they need some shine, and I think a lot of people don't even know about them. So we're gonna get into this list. Before we do, remember to subscribe to the channel if you haven't done that. Let's dig into this incredible list. We're gonna go with this one that I actually looked for quite a while. Whenever I saw that it came out, it was actually quite difficult to find. It's finally, I think, a little more readily available. I'm talking about this one right here, Lattafa's Cayenne Intense, or Cayenne Intense. There was the original of this fragrance that came out that was supposed to be kind of a twist on one of the darker Issey Miyake fragrances. This one, on the other hand, is definitely a twist, not a clone, on Givenchy Gentleman EDP, or even Givenchy Gentleman Reserve Privé. And I say it's a twist because it doesn't really smell exactly like either of those. It really is right in between the two. It's pretty similar to Reserve Privé, but it doesn't have that realistic whiskey note that you get right in the top of Reserve Privé. It actually also doesn't have as much of the iris note as Givenchy Gentleman EDP. So I would say it's a pretty good blend of the two of them. If you like that style of fragrance, or if you've never tried them and you want to kind of know what's the fuss all about, it's basically kind of a dark, sweet, vanillic, little bit spicy iris kind of a fragrance, although this one doesn't even list iris as a note, but I'm pretty sure it does have some iris in here. So again, Lattafa's Cayenne Intense. Really good price on this one as well. Definitely worth picking up. It's quite similar to Al Fursan by Fragrance World, which was also a dupe of Reserve Privé, which has the same shortcomings. Not enough whiskey, not enough iris. So check that one out. Also from Lattafa, as soon as I saw this one existed, I knew I had to get a hold of it because it's a clone of Kilian's Smoking Hot. This is Mashaba by Lattafa. I'm sure my pronunciation on that one was perfect. And this is a fruity, sweet, cinnamon kind of a fragrance. It's quite sweet, and it's got a good bit of that kind of hot spiciness. I think apple is the fruity note, but it almost reminds me of, like, you know, some cherry or cherry apple. It's like this red fruit sweetness, at least to me, and then a good bit of spiciness. It's really good stuff. I actually have a dupe from Generic Perfumes of the same fragrance. It's definitely stronger, but I would also say this one is probably a little better blended and a little more mass-pleasing. The one from Generic Perfumes is so strong and potent that sweet fruitiness could be overpowering. And this one, I think it's a little calmer. I don't know about performance yet. I've only worn this one maybe twice, as far as more than just spraying it on my hand, but it smells fantastic. It's sweet, spicy, fruity. Check it out, Mashaba. I'm sure that's how you pronounce it, from Lattafa. All right, this next one from Luciano. I love these lesser known brands that are popping up. They may all be sub houses of bigger houses, but I just love that we're getting such a wide variety right now. This one is an alternative to, or a dupe of, Parfums de Marly Perseus. This is Dynasty, a part of their Titan collection. And this is basically a citrus fragrance with some green woodiness and some spice. you've got specifically some bergamot, you've got some grapefruit, but then you also have black currant, you've got some geranium, which is where that spice is coming from. You've got a little bit of an ambergris kind of a feel. Obviously a $25 fragrance isn't going to have a real ambergris, probably ambroxan or something like that. You've got some vetiver, you've got some woods, and so it's a citrus woody fragrance, but specifically you've got some spice in there, and you've got a little bit of a green edge in there. It's been compared to, the original has been compared to Traidor Melodia, Eau Givre, and I would say yes, although I think this one is, it's a little more sweet, a little more tart, maybe a little more green. It's just a little bit more kind of in your face on those, you know, maybe sharper or tart notes. So anyway, pretty good stuff. Definitely more spring, summer, and I'm looking forward to breaking this one out. Really going to be awesome in the heat. This next one, brand new from Rasasi. This is Rasasi Fire. I may have been the first one, maybe the second one to get a video out on this one. I got a video out hours after I got it, and my thoughts on it haven't changed, having had it for, you know, a week or so now and having experimented with it more. It's definitely in the vein of a couple other fragrances that I have. One of them being this one right here, which I'll also mention, REEF 33, which is a twist on Imperial Valley by Gisa. But from what I understand, it's a more palatable take on that fragrance, which has got kind of an animalic leather, and it's a little bit more sort of musky and challenging, almost kind of smoky feeling. So this one's, it's palatable, it's mass pleasing. I'm talking about REEF 33. And I have to say, this one is quite similar to that fragrance. I would say if you have REEF 33, you don't need to pick this up, but it's a citrus, spicy, woody fragrance, quite different from Dynasty there by Luciano. If you are familiar with Imperial Valley or things that smell like it, this is in the range of that, but it's not challenging. It's actually, you know, sweet, spicy, woody, citrus, probably some bergamot and pink pepper, giving it that citrus spice. Pretty good stuff. I think a lot of people are going to like this. It seems to have really good performance, although I haven't done what I would consider full testing, so check that one out. And I also wanted to mention, since we are on the topic, this one right here, which is actually supposed to be more accurately reflecting Imperial Valley. I've never smelled Imperial Valley, have never claimed to, but this one's supposed to also be an alternative. This is Traidor Melodia, and this is pretty similar to the two that I just showed you, except for the fact that this fragrance does have a very strong kind of animalic leather note. The oud in it is probably definitely more on the funky side, and somehow the notes together give it an almost smoky incense kind of a feel. But from what I have heard, this one's actually closer to the Imperial Valley DNA, but without question, you smell this with Rasasi Fire, you're going to know that they are very closely related. Traidor Melodia, this one's a subhouse of Dumont. This one is a dupe of a K. Ali fragrance, which is, I believe it's called Sugared Patchouli Vanilla. And this is from Paris Corner. This is December Vanilla. Now, this is a sweet vanilla fragrance with a good dose of patchouli and a good bit of florals. And this is one that I would say, I think it smells fantastic. It's definitely sweet and it is floral. And some guys would say, you know, this is not for me, this is too feminine. I will tell you, I have worn it once and I've sprayed it on my hand a couple times, and I just think it smells amazing. I love patchouli and I love vanilla. I would say it's more vanilla forward than patchouli, but some people say the patchouli in this one is too much for them. To me, patchouli usually leans a little more masculine than feminine. So this is one I would just say beware if you're sensitive to feminine leaning fragrances, because this one could be perceived as such, but man, it smells great with that vanilla. A lot of K. Ali fragrances are unisex. Some of them do lean a little more feminine though. This next one, this is one I've actually had, no, this is actually a brand new pickup, not what I thought it was. This stuff is mind-blowing. It is excellent. It is so very good. This is Generic Perfumes' take on Xerjoff Tony Iommi Monkey, and it's just Generic Perfumes Tony Iommi Monkey. This is their A++, so their highest end, and this fragrance is so very impressive. I'm actually going to wear this. Haven't worn it in a couple days, and I'm not really wearing anything right now. This is a boozy rose, kind of spicy fragrance. I'm going to pull up the notes. In this one, you've got some rum, you've got passion fruit, you've got some bergamot, geranium, cinnamon, you've got patchouli, leather, rose, caramel, vanilla, tonka bean, sandalwood, and on and on. So you've got a good bit of spice. You've got a realistic boozy note. They did a fantastic job with that rum note and that kind of strong, sweet booziness with that rose, with some caramel and vanilla, good bit of sweetness, geranium, cinnamon, spiciness. I mean, intoxicating does not even do it justice. I would say, rose and booze kind of a fragrance might not be for everybody, but if you've dipped your toes into niche a little bit and you've experienced what a mind-blowingly impressive kind of rose-based fragrance for a man can be, this stuff is lights out, gorgeous. Even my wife liked it, which surprised me, but she does actually really like rose fragrances for women. I would never smell this one and think it was a women's fragrance though, although I'm sure it's unisex. But man, this stuff is incredible. It's apparently inspired by a rock star and it's definitely got rock star vibes as far as I'm concerned. Next one, this is one of the ones that's been out for a little while, but I don't think it's gotten enough shine, at least not lately. It's been out within the past year for sure. This is Insurrection to Emperor by Rayon Tradition. A lot of people were saying that this was a Pure Zest dupe. I've never smelled Pure Zest. It's been discontinued for a while, but it was sort of an orange creamsicle kind of a fragrance. Then you had other people saying, nah, it's not really that. I will tell you, in the opening, there is a vanilla orange that's actually really pleasant, but then it goes into an Aventus-like DNA, almost like an oak moss musk kind of forward Aventus. So you've got this sweet orange vanilla in the opening, then you go into something reminding you of Aventus with a little bit more of that kind of oak mossy kind of a feel. It's a really great fragrance. Once the spring comes, I'll break it back out. You can see I did use a good bit of it in the spring whenever I got it. It's pretty cool. If you like something that smells like Aventus but you want something different, this is a great option in my opinion. Final three. This one is brand new to me, although it's been out for a year, maybe more. I couldn't find this one forever. I looked for it for a year and I gave up, and then it finally popped up on Fragrance Buy. I'm talking about this one right here, F Les Parfums by Fragrance World. It's obviously a Y Les Parfums dupe, YSLY Les Parfums. And it is a beautiful, gorgeous, kind of sweet, soapy, clean blue fragrance. The thing about Les Parfums, Y Les Parfums, that I really loved was the opening. This sparkly citrus almost reminded you of like a, sparkling like orange juice and seltzer water or something like that, or even like a mimosa or something like that. And this one doesn't have as much of that sparkly citrus. However, I do like this one better than Maison Alhambra's dupe of Y Les Parfums. I actually gave that one away because I never wore it. I like this one better because it does have a little bit more of that citrus opening and it's not as soapy. To me, the Maison Alhambra, it got so soapy, and I don't love soapy fragrances. This one holds a little bit more of that Y DNA, Y EDP, even the original Y. It does go pretty clean, but not quite as soapy to my nose as the Maison Alhambra, but it is available now, at least at the recording of this video, their take on Y Les Parfums, F Les Parfums. Right here, again, I don't know when it came out, but I really haven't heard anyone talk about it. This one is an alternative to Paco Rabanne's Black Excess, and it smells incredible. This is a subhouse of Dumont Exciting Incense. Note the way incense is spelled. And it's very similar to the Paco Rabanne. It has almost the same note breakdown. You've got some cinnamon, basil, lemon in the opening, but I will tell you, to me, it smelled like pineapple in the opening. I sprayed it a few days ago. My daughter came in and she said, "What is that?" And I said, "What are you talking about?" She said, "Something smells like pineapple." And Even right off the atomizer, it smells like pineapple. I don't know why that is. And then you go into cardamom, praline, tolu balsam, black amber, patchouli, and Brazilian rosewood. So you've got a good bit of spice. You've got a good, nice, powerful, fruity opening. It is kind of an anytime, anywhere kind of a fragrance. It does have a good bit of sweetness, but I could definitely pull this off in the spring for sure. And if you like Black Excess, I don't own Black Excess, but I am familiar with that fragrance. And I do think, without having them side by side, this one's pretty close. And if you go to Fragrantica, it's by far the #1 vote for smells like this. So anyway, check this out. Exciting Incense, Subhouse of Dumont. This one right here, I got this one in maybe a week or so after I got in our MOF Pre-Show 1, Club de Nuit Pre-Show 1. This is Generic Perfumes' take on Absolu Aventus. And it's really just a straight Aventus clone. It doesn't have the kind of pear caramel that Pre-Show 1 has. And it's very close to Absolu Aventus. And now that this has sat on the shelf, this is their A++, so it is their high end. Now that this one has sat on the shelf for a couple months, it is so super close to Absolu Aventus. It's gotten way more powerful. It's gotten a little bit sweeter. It is so very good. I actually took this on a trip a couple weeks ago, and it's so powerful too. 3-4 sprays, just like the Armaf, and you are radiant and you're smelling it for hours and hours. You know, easily 8 hours plus. But beyond that, I haven't really tested it farther, but Generic Perfumes, Absolu Aventus dupe, this stuff smells so very good. So this has been 12 new clone fragrances. If you've got some recommendations for me, go ahead and drop them down below in the comments with a link so that I can check it out, and good chance I'll pick it up if it's something I don't have. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to give the video a like if you like the video, and also subscribe to the channel. I'm Justin, and this is Sillage Scents.